Welcome to Midlothian Stadium here in Midlothian, Texas, where today the Southwestern Assemblies of God University Lions kick off their 2013 campaign against the Bethany College Swedes. And hello, everybody. Welcome inside our broadcast booth. Rob Price here, along with my broadcast partner, Mark Ward. Hello, Mark. Good to see you again.
Good to be here.
Hey, I tell you what, this is like the best time of the year for any college town. You've got football, it's in the air, late August, early September, and expectations are high this year for the Lions. Why? Well, there's so many returning stars coming back for this year. And what that means is basically this is the best experienced edge the Lions have ever had in the history of their program. And Mark, they will need that edge, led by senior quarterback Reed Golson, to beat these Swedes, who have number 8 all-time wins in the NAIA. So a stout program the SAGU's up against today. But first, let's take you downfield where Tyler Evans is standing by. Tyler.
Thanks, guys. It is 91 degrees out here and even hotter on the field. You can imagine what a day of football today will bring. Now, the boys don't seem to mind the heat. They were very excited during their pregame warm-ups and are really ready to start this game. This is one football game here that you do not want to miss. Thank you so much. Back to you, Rob.
Thanks, Tyler. We'll take a quick look at the year back behind 2012 and look ahead at an exciting season coming right up here on SAGU Sports Live. Stay tuned. You're watching the SAGU Sports Network. We'll be right back. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth. Mark, well, let's talk about last year first. 2012 in review. The team finished 4-6, and last year we faced Bethany College and wasn't quite the result we're looking for.
Right. We led through most of the game and lost it in the last few minutes, and Bethany came through with a 1-point win.
Well, talk about the red zone, Mark. We had 5 trips down there, but came away with just 4 field goals, and that was the total of our points. How can we change that this year?
Well, when you get 5 trips into the red zone area and lose all those points, including a fumble where we lost it into the end zone and come out with 12 points, you end up losing those kind of ball games. This year, the key for us, I think, is going to be converting on 3rd down. Last year, James Gish had an All-American type season as a kicker. This year, we'd like to see him just kicking extra points. I
saw him kicking earlier. He was banging him down from 47 yards with relative ease. Moved it back to 52 yards, and he struggled. Moved it back to 47, and he was clearing the goalpost by 10 yards. So maybe it's a mental thing getting past the 50-yard mark, but he did hit 2 field goals past 50 yards last year. And
he's got, right, he has a couple of long ones, and he's got a very strong leg. He's a very good kicker.
Last year, the team finished 4-6, as they did in the 2011 campaign. Mark, we've never had a winning season, but it feels like we're just knocking on the door this year.
We've won 4 games in 3 of the past 5 years, our best stretch of play since the program began just over 10 years ago. And you're right, the players are sensing that, and with a lot of returning veterans back, and the schedule this year is a little kinder, but today is a tough start.
Last week I spoke with Mo Monserrat, great linebacker and safety for the Lions, and he says losing close games, quote, is not an option this year. We just cannot have this happen to us. So I love, and it was with a steely attitude, and he meant what he said.
Well, that's why they call him No Mo, and he'd like to put an end to those losing ways.
Well, let's take it down now to our reporter, Tyler Evans, who is standing by with head coach Jesse Gotting. Tyler?
Thanks, guys. Now, Coach, we have lost 2 games to Bethany with a combined number of 9 points. How are we really going to shift that narrow margin in our favor today?
Well, you try to not look back, although it's been frustrating the past 2 years, but, you know, you're going to take this today, play it minute by minute, and just worry about today and not what's happened in the past. So.
Very cool. Now, as the coach, how are you planning to manage a team on opening day when you have brand new faces on both sides of the ball?
Well, from the first day of camp, we started talking about, hey, we're looking for guys that can stack one play on top of another during a practice, can stack one good day on top of another good day, and hopefully the folks that we're putting out there have done that. So.
Thank you so much, Coach, and good luck in today's game.
Thank you.
Back to you, Rob.
House pumps left, now goes left. He's got a man, he's wide open, and the Lions give up an improbable score.
They're going to lose the opener here in, well, rather heartbreaking fashion.
It's
13-12.
13-12, a heartbreaking loss. Golson backs, got a throw. He looks, rolls right, fires. It's low. And the ball game goes to the Roos as they celebrate.
And the Lions are purely dejected right now.
Golson takes the snap, looks back, rolls left. He's got to find a receiver. He's looking left. He's got no one. Now he throws. It's high, and it is, incomplete.
That is it right there. Bulldogs will come out and kneel down. Golson, you can just tell, dejected.
And there you have it, some really tough losses last year. So close. It's that fourth quarter mentality. Go back to Mo's comments about we have to finish games. And he told me, meaning himself, and Shaquem Taylor, we were talking, he said, we're going to make plays this year. Losing is not an option, so hopefully next year we won't watch a video like we just saw with these close losses ending with a tough spot there.
And if you go back 1 year before that, we had 3 other losses that were right at the wire. So the team is right at the threshold of pushing over 500, and I have a feeling it's going to start this year.
Well, we mentioned starters coming back 9, I think, on offense, quite a few, 7 or 8 or 9 on defense. So it's an experienced squad. And let's take a look now at our starting offense for this year's SAGU Lions. Take a look.
Reed Golson, Grandview, Texas, senior quarterback.
James Hopkins, Ferris, Texas, junior running back.
Jason Bethel, Red Oak, Texas, junior fullback.
Jeremy McDonald, San Antonio, Texas, junior wide receiver.
Bethany, Waxahachie, Texas, sophomore receiver.
Tyler Jenkins, Weatherford, Texas, sophomore tight end.
Mitchell Grimes, McKinney, Texas, junior offensive line.
RJ Adame, Keller, Texas, junior offensive lineman.
Darius Griffin, McKinney, Texas, sophomore O-line.
Paul Selsky, North Richland Hills, Texas, junior offensive line.
Peter Corrigan, Dallas, Texas, junior offensive lineman.
Mark, your thoughts on the starting offense? They look like they're loaded, ready to go.
Well, for once we have an offensive line. They're returning 4 or 5 starters. That's probably going to be the key in my book for SAGU.
Let's take a look at the offensive keys now. There's quite a few here, as you see on the screen here. Some really key things that have to happen in order for the Lions to take a look at this win. So we'll take a look at the offensive keys for you. Right there, you talk about give Reed time in the middle, Mark.
Reed is in his senior year. If the offensive line is able to protect him, last year he didn't have much success running against the Swedes, and I think he's going to be looking more to establish the passing game instead of trying to run as much.
And I picked him because I think he is the center point of this whole offense. And to the left, you see there, establish the run.
We didn't run that effectively last year as far as anything that would be moving the chains. This year with 2 new backs in there, there's a great chance that you're going to see us on 3rd down converting more.
And finally, we hit a few moments ago, we've got to finish those drives. Let's not settle for, we love Gish, but let's not have him on the field that much, right?
Yeah, in fact, I asked him this week, I said, last year you got to try 20 field goals, and he said, you know what, I would be satisfied doing 75 extra points this year and not kicking any field goals.
And still score all kinds of points. So that's our offensive look. Let's take a look at the defensive look now, your defensive stars for this year's Lions. Take a look.
Jeremiah Mott, Slida, Louisiana, sophomore linebacker.
Kendall Evers, Danbury, Texas, senior linebacker.
Kirk White, Dallas, Texas, sophomore linebacker.
Dalton Snyder, Ennis, Texas, sophomore linebacker.
Frank H. Maple, Euless, Texas, senior cornerback.
Shaquem Taylor, Dallas, Texas, sophomore cornerback.
Deontay Morrison, Garland, Texas, sophomore, free safety.
John Snyder, Ennis, Texas, freshman, safety.
Harry Ford, Tilden, Louisiana, sophomore, defensive end.
Isaac Ice Cold Caston, Dallas, Texas, senior, DN.
Rodney, DJ Johnson, Springfield, Missouri, senior, defensive tackle.
And that, folks, is your starting lineup for the defense. That last player, DJ Johnson, he holds it all together, doesn't he, Mark?
He could have an All-American season this year. He's from Detroit, grew up in Springfield, Missouri. Good ball player anchoring that line.
Now, there's going to be some defensive keys to win this ball game. These Swedes, as we talked about, number 8 all-time in wins. They can put up points in the NAIA, and they've got a quarterback we'll talk about later who might just throw it off the chain. But here's a look now at your defensive keys. You see, first of all, filling some big shoes there for those 2 players, Mark.
Brad Heathcock and Nick Econom, great defensive backs. Nick led the nation in interceptions last year. Filling those two players' shoes could be very tough with an experienced quarterback coming in.
And then we only had 12 sacks in the entire 2012 campaign. We've got to pressure the quarterback more.
And Bethany only had 13 last year, so it bodes well for the offenses if the defenses are not able to put pressure on them.
And that third key there you see, grab interceptions, kind of ties back into the first one with Heathcock and Econom gone. Got to get more picks.
And last year, Shaquem Taylor had 6 interceptions, third in the country. You see him there wearing number 22. This year he's wearing Dion's number 21, and he'll be the ball hawk in the secondary.
Look at the ratio there, 10 passing touchdowns to just 21 INTs, so we want to get that ratio a lot better. So we're just minutes away from kicking off the opening season for the Lions campaign 2013. We'll be right back after this quick message. You're watching SAGU Sports Live on the SAGU Sports Network. And welcome back to Midlothian Stadium. And you may be wondering why we are in Midlothian. The Dale Hansen Classic kicks off today at Lumpkin Stadium. So we got kicked out, Mark, but we love this stadium. It's a wonderful 8,000-seat complex, and they've hosted playoff games here for high school, and it's just a beautiful place to play football.
The Sunken Bowl field looks like a smaller D1 complex. It's one of the better ones in the Metroplex. Lumpkin seats just under 10,000. We're here at 8, and a beautiful facility, and the folks here at the Midlothian Independent School District has been a gracious host, and they accommodate SAGU in wonderful ways.
Glad to be here. We're just moments away from kicking off. In fact, you see in the field the captains discussing who's going to call heads and tails, and we'll be ready for kickoff in just a few moments. Look at the new helmets. How about the new look for the Lions?
Well, you know what? From a distance, they have a little Minnesota Vikings look with the newly designed lion head on the side of those flat purple helmets. In recent years, the helmets have been gold, and today, white pants. Out there at midfield,
they do look like the Vikings.
Out at midfield, you see 3 senior captains for today. Number 10, Reed Golson. Number 29, our kicker, James Gish. And number 99, defensive tackle, Rodney D.J. Johnson.
Talking with John Allen, the defensive coordinator, and he says that we're going to mix it up this year. We're going to have a 3-4 base, but also look for the 3-3-5. Now, here's the key. They return 9 starters, Mark. So Allen's looking for a huge year from those folks coming back.
The key, or perhaps the strength for the Lions defense, is going to be at linebacker. Not just the starters, but the second unit that comes in. And Coach Allen is known for playing a number of players, and today wouldn't be surprised to see him rotating defensive linemen in almost every play.
They will also employ the 2-high system, which essentially puts 9 men in the box. You've got 2 safeties in the back, and it puts a lot of pressure on those safeties to read the offensive line at the snap. What John was explaining to us was it's called high hat, low hat. Basically, at the point of snap, if the hats go high, if the helmets go high, that means it's a pass, obviously. Low hat, they stay low, then it's going to be a run, and those safeties have to give run support on the outside with 9 men in the box. So we may see a bit of that 2-high today as well in certain third-down situations.
Last year, both of these teams struggled to mount any kind of an effective offense. I have a hunch from what we're picking up from both teams that today could prompt a lot of people visually on their couches today watching the game as though they're at a tennis match, watching the offenses go back and forth.
Well, the teams are on the field, and the Lions will receive. To kick off this 2013 campaign and sit back to receive is Jeremy McDonald, who also will be starting at wide receiver. He's the #1 wide receiver, #1 in the program, #1 on the roster. Also joining him is number 7, Trevor McKinley, who will come off the bench, but he'll get plenty of balls thrown his way this year by Mr. Reed Golson. And the 2000 season is underway, and McKinley will take it at the 12. On up ahead, stopped by the 25, still on his feet, rolls forward to about the 31-yard line, and pretty good field position for the Lions.
That was a short kick by a new kicker for the Swedes this year. And McKinley, who has probably as good a hands as anybody on the team, gives the Lions very good field position to start.
Stephen Williams, number 9 on the tackle for the Swedes.
In fact, Bethany fans will recognize him. He was their leading tackler last year, and he is back again this year to the linebacker, Stephen Williams.
All right, well, let's play some football here. Under center. Handoff number 4 up the middle for a gain of 3. That is James Hopkins, and Reed Golson does get the start. We were kind of unsure who was going to start this football game. It is Reed Golson. Josh Harris ready to come in, number 6. Golson does get the start.
A week ago in their scrimmage against Trinity in San Antonio, Harris got most of the minutes, and Reed Wilson, he has been a little banged up, did not play.
Hopkins sets up behind Golson. In the pistol formation. Back to pass, looks left, throws left. He's got McDonald. McDonald hauls it in at the 40-yard line. How about that? Nice timing pattern. McDonald, number 1 target for Golson, completes the first pass attempt of the season. Good for a first down.
Oscar Segura made the tackle, but right from the moment that ball was snapped, he was looking at McDonald. He got a step on the cornerback, and Golson threw a nice touch pass.
But we have the yellow hanky has been tossed, and it's going to be pulled back. It's going to be a penalty against the Lions. We'll wait for the call, and what an ineligible man downfield is the call, which very disappointing on a great, about a 20-25-yard pass play, all for naught. That'll send the ball clear back to the 30-yard line, and they'll reset again. Golson sends out, trips left. Dylan Moore, tight end, runs wide right. Golson, screen, pass complete.
That's Vanique Benton.
Vanique Benton from Waxahachie High School.
He was a quarterback there, then went out to Abilene Christian, did not play that season, and he's back. He has some game-breaking abilities.
5'9" freshman, 185 pounds, in on the action early for the Lions, the head coach Jesse Gotting.
Well, we've got 3 wide receivers down here at the bottom. Think it's going to be a pass? Think again.
We hand off to Hopkins, who barrels forward to the 38-yard line of the Swedes, number 11 on the tackle for the Swedes.
Brent Donaldson making the stop. Hopkins, like Golson, is a transfer from Howard Payne University, and a lot of great explosion. He loves to run between the tackles, and he's going to deliver a hit. Great run for SAGU, converting and moving the chains.
First down. Golson hands it off to Hopkins again. Looks like somewhat of a read option play there. He does hand it off to Hopkins. More in the read option a bit later on, becoming very popular in the NFL. It's already gained much popularity in college, and now Gotting is letting Golson experiment with the read option along with offensive coordinator Frank Tristan, and brings up a 2nd and 4 from the Swedes' 33-yard line.
A new running back, number 12, has come into the backfield. Troy Griffin runs very similar to Hopkins.
These 2 backs, Griffin and Hopkins, were specifically mentioned by name to us by Coach Tristan as players to watch out for. And nothing on that gain. Griffin stopped up in the middle, bring up 3rd down. 4 for Lions as they're getting close to the red zone, and if they do, you want to punch that in. We love you, James Gish, but we want to put this in the end zone in that first drive if you're a Lions fan.
Nice play by the nose guard, Mike Vaughn. Beat the center, stopped that play, and here it is, the big money play, 3rd down and 5.
Golson goes back to pass, looks left, got McDonald. He's going to air it out to Jeremy, who spins around and makes the catch. Is he in bounds? No, the referees call him out of bounds off his back shoulder. McDonald can't believe it, and it brings up a 4th down. Now decision time. Gish has the leg. It would be about a 49-yard field goal. Here's a replay. Check this out. Is he in bounds? McDonald up over the back shoulder, makes the catch. Well, if we could see that the right foot, if it touched first, then that would be a completion. if he had possession of the ball in his hands. So the referee probably made the assumption that he didn't have possession yet. So we're going to go 4th down and 5 on the field. Lions are going to go for it. Trips right on the bottom of your screen. Here comes Golson. Screen right, pass right to McKinley. And he's got the first down just barely. Possibly he looks like he's very close.
But the official put down his right foot. It's just inside the 29. You know, looking at that replay just a moment ago, it looked like McDonald made the grab but didn't have possession. The ball looked like it was a little loose, and he did grab a hold of it, but not in time to get the right foot, or excuse me, the left foot down. Big first down for SAGU.
Huge first down. That is a big momentum builder if you're the Lions, keeping this drive alive. 11:30 left in the first quarter. Golson hands it off to Griffin, who stopped for little to no gain. Good defense by the Swedes.
Yeah,
Number
Rocky
99.
Castro,
Yeah.
a senior, 5'9", 250. That's kind of like a fire hydrant with legs. He got in there quick, made the stop, had no place to go. Nice play by Bethany.
Brings up a 2nd and 11 for the Lions. Golson back to pass again. Got plenty of time up the middle. Pass complete.
Caleb Shaley.
Down to the 15, the 12, 11. Shaley, nice crossing pattern. Golson hit him right on the numbers.
Jarvis Caraway with the stop. Make that Caleb Shaley. Tall tight end on a crossing pattern. They had that play well set up. They had been attacking the left side, then came back with that pass. Golson's looking very well in his reads here in the first possession.
It's very comfortable, Mark, very comfortable. And let's see if we can punch this in. We're now in the red zone for the first time for the first drive of the year. And Golson back to pass now right. Pass complete. Is he in bounds? No, he is not. That attempt was to Benton, the freshman, Vinnick Benton from Waxahachie.
Well, the guys are making the catches. That one there, it looks like he led him a little bit too far. He pulled it in, but there seemed to be no question that he was not in bounds.
So, Mark, what do you do? It's 2nd and 10. Do you pass again, or do you try to keep him honest with a running play? Perhaps with Miller, maybe a sweep to the right here on the left hash mark. What do you do here, 2nd and 10?
I think they're going to run it, but they've got 4 receivers split out.
Screen pass right to McKinley. Pass complete to the 10. Drag down to the 5-yard line. He takes 3 or 4 Swedes down with him. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 3. He can get a first down. The Lions can get a first down and have another set of downs to push this ball in, with the first down marker just inside the 2-yard line.
Brent Donaldson making the stop for the Swedes, who, by the way, have got their own new helmets today with those Viking-like wings on the side. Here's a big 3rd down play from the 6.
Direct snap to Griffin.
He looks like he's going to be right at the marker. Jafar Thomas, who also plays on offense, made the stop. They may have to measure, but it's right at the 2-yard line. And the officials are saying it's 4th down.
So here we go.
The Lions have already gone for it on 4th down a while ago. Here's another one. Same play.
Same play.
There's a flag on the opposite
before
side.
the snap on the opposite side of the field. What you see in the last 2 plays is an unbalanced swing wing where a direct snap is the result to a running back, and it does keep the defense honest. But here, right before the snap, was a flag.
Looks like there was 12 men on the field for the Swedes.
First down, Lions at the 1. What a gift. The Swedes give the Lions 4 more downs, an extra yard. And you got to believe the Lions will somehow find a way to punch this in. I'd be look for Griffin again to possibly get this baller. He does, and he's going to walk it right in untouched. Touchdown Lions. First score of the season comes from Troy Griffin, the junior transfer from Texas A&M Commerce. Lions lead 6-0.
They like that play so much they not only ran it once, but twice, then 3 times in a row. 3rd play, I think they got it down.
I saw plenty of passes. I saw a balanced running attack. The Lions look really, really confident and good in their opening series. Take a look at the replay here after the extra point attempt. from Gish. Well, here it is. Gish attempting his first PAT of the year. Led the nation in field goals made last year in the NAIA. The kick is up, and it is right to the uprights, and your Lions march right down the field. A 70-yard drive lasted about 4 minutes and 45 seconds, and they take an early lead, 7-0, Mark.
In recent seasons, the Lions have tried to run the ball and get that established before they would go into passing. Today it was just the opposite, passing to set up the run, and Troy Griffin showed some real spring in those legs on those first 3 carries.
Coach Tristan, the offensive coordinator, told me Trevor McKinley had the best camp out of everyone he saw on offense, and you saw the results of that hard labor as he caught several balls and leading to a touchdown. 13 plays, 69 yards, and just took 5 minutes 45 seconds off the clock. Now let's talk about this interesting quarterback situation with the Swedes. A man named Justin Bain, 28 years old, Mark.
You know what? Like an old Civil War battle iron. This guy here is going to be, they're setting him out to sail again, and he has got some speed burners on the outside. They're able to give him protection, and he can shake off the rust. The Iron Man can keep it going. He's almost 29 years of age. You have to like his fortitude. Has a year of eligibility left, and Bethany's really excited about this guy. Spent one of his years in Baylor, so he's got some Texas connection.
He hasn't played the quarterback position in 11 years, but he is back on the field today. More in his story in just a minute. It really is fascinating. But first, a kickoff for the Lions. Nice deep ball taken around the 1-2 yard line. Up the middle, all kinds of daylight at the 30, still on his feet. Now finally tripped up. A nice tackle from behind there. Number 89 for the Lions. That is Ryan Reese.
He's one of the receiving corps members. Last year we saw the Swedes come out in their royal blue and with the yellow trim. This year they're in all white, which is a nice way to go in this kind of heat. It's expected to be 100 degrees again. Got their new goldish, silverish helmet with the Viking wings. And here comes Justin Bain with Jarrett Bell and those freshman Flyers coming out to take their whack at him.
Justin Bell lines up under center, 35-yard line, sets a man in motion, and a fumble in the very first snap, and perhaps the nerves, I'm not sure what it was, but not a good start for the Swedes. And Justin Bain has a miscommunication from the center to the quarterback in that first play, bring up a 2nd down and 12.
6'2", 220. Got good size. They commonly go with 4 receivers in this triple shoot attack. The running back looks like Tevis Lineber had 1,175 yards last year. 5'6", over 200 pounds. He's got some power.
And a whistle before the snap. The ball was handed off to Lundarius Thomas, but who's a wide receiver, but a whistle and a flag. It looks to be going against Bethany College.
It was an illegal motion there. New head coach for the Swedes, Manny Mansakis, has had good experience. He's been in the NFL. He's been at Texas Tech. He comes in with a certain amount of swag from some of his success, and he looks like he's ready to open this offense. 4 wide receivers out, single back. Lineber, watch out.
3-4 defense from the Lions, base defense. Here's Bain's first pass in 11 years, complete on the right side, close to the first down marker, and they will move the chains.
Jafar Thomas. That was Jeremiah Mott, 42, and number 32, Mo Mansoure, making the play.
So, Justin Bain, 1 for 1 after taking 11 years off at quarterback. Now sets up in the shotgun, 1st down and 10 for the Swedes. And here's a handoff, and that run's going to go nowhere. Snuffed out by the purple pride of the Lions.
The guy who forced that play, you can't miss DJ Johnson in those fluorescent shoes. Big 99. stepped in and disrupted the play, bringing up a 4th down and 5. And that 1st down fumble and the 5-yard penalty a while ago got that offense out of sync.
Well, it looked like they moved the chains. I guess they did not. It was actually 3rd down. The chains did move somewhere, but it's now 4th down, and the Lions are going to get the ball back. Returner sets up around the 20-yard line. Here's the punt. And it's a terrible punt.
He shanks it.
It's going to be a shank out of bounds. Caught by a fan in the stands. Nice catch. Give him some pads.
That's caught by a fan from Maybank, Texas, right over there at the 45-yard line. You know, the Swedes have a number of Texas players. They had a barbecue before the game for some of their alumni.
Sure.
30 players.
30 players on the roster hail from the Lone Star State. So a bit of a homecoming today for Bethany College.
And I bet you from the smell of that barbecue I got wafting up through the press box that they had a good little pregame tailgate.
Mark likes his food. What can I say? Reed Golson sets up in the shotgun, or I guess you should call it a pistol. Hands off and a fumble, and it's going to be recovered at midfield by Bethany College. I'm not sure if it was in the transition or if Griffin just mishandled it once he had the ball. But irregardless, a huge error at midfield will give the Swedes good starting field position with 7:13 left in the 1st quarter. Here's a replay here. Just never had a handle on it. He was wrapped up, and as he was wrapped up, the defender's arms just compressed and pushed that ball right out of his breadbasket. That's a loose ball.
James Hopkins with the fumble, and they had a jailbreak on from the beginning of that play. Now the Swedes dodge a bullet.
Midfield, here comes Bain in the shotgun. 3 receivers right, rolls right, hands off left. All kinds of daylight, still on his feet. Now tackled from behind is DJ Johnson, who wraps up number 30 for Bethany College.
Ike Caston and Jeremiah Mott whiffed on the tackle, and then DJ came in and made no mistake about it.
It's Tevis Lindbergh on the run.
That was a nice-looking play. Like a delayed draw to the left.
2nd down and 3 for Bain. Sends 3 right again. Back to pass, looks left. Got all kinds of time. Now goes up the middle. Anyone's ball is caught, and a big hit. Incomplete. Ball was in his hands, and then he met a ferocious line around the 16-yard line.
That was Dylan Snyder,
the freshman.
Dalton's brother, delivered the pain. He otherwise would have had about a 40-yard gain.
And number 5, Sloan getting up. Here it is again. Take a look at this hit from the younger Snyder. Ball's hauled in, and then bam! Return to sender. Kelton Evans, slow coming off the field with the hard hat from the younger brother of Dalton Snyder, Dylan Snyder, showing his presence early on in this game.
Mansakis on the sideline has been out of shape over there on that call. Was probably looking for a personal foul. The receiver did bend over forward, and Snyder lowered the boom. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 3. Wow, big play and a nice pass.
And the crowd really getting into it now. You don't want to see anybody get hurt, but you know, football is a game where people are going to get hit, and it can be somewhat violent. And as long as, you get up and walk it off, those hits are kind of what the game is all about. It's a good, clean hit. He made a catch. He's now a vulnerable receiver. And Snyder had a textbook hit on him.
You might want to call Snyder AM/PM. The receiver was awake when he caught the ball, and he was asleep when the play was over with. He turned the lights out. But that was a nice pass, slightly underthrown. If he had hit him in stride, it probably would have been 7.
Pass was on the target from Justin Bain. And more about him, he actually went to Dakota Wesleyan in 2003, played wide receiver after playing quarterback in high school, and then moved back to Waco and made the Baylor University Ball Club. Injuries kept him from getting a lot of playing time, and he thought he was done as a player, was going to go into coaching and into training. He got to have a fitness gym with his wife. They ran something out of Waco, and had people coming in training, and his wife goes to school to get a PhD, and now suddenly he wants to become a coach, and he contacts a friend here or there, ends up at Bethany, and they say, why don't you play quarterback, use up your eligibility?
You got 1 year left.
Why not?
Here's a big play, 3rd down and a long 3.
Bain under center, handoff up the middle.
He's got it.
He's got the first down.
Like Lineber.
It is Lineber.
A little extracurricular activity after the play there involving players from both sides. I think they threw a hanky for each of the players involved.
Lineber just 5'7", but at 210, low center of gravity, packs a powerful punch and moves that pile. Did get the first down. We'll see if the penalty negates the first down. I see three yellow handkerchiefs on the floor, on the ground, plus a pair of those bright yellow feet.
It could be offsetting penalties.
Who's wearing those awesome shoes with the bright yellow for the Lions?
DJ Johnson, 6'3", 300 pounds. One of the better plays. One of the better players for the Lions.
Here's the call. And that player has been thrown out of the game.
Oh, that's going to be huge. Those offsetting penalties and the Lions losing their best cover man, that does not bode well going up against a pass attack. That means the Lions' first 2 starting cornerbacks are out. Frank Age-Maple and now Shaquem Taylor. Watch and see how this plays out the rest of the game.
I believe that was number 41 for the Lions. Samson Figueredo is dismissed from the ball game. Let's check that. Shaquem Taylor.
He wore number 22 last year, 6 interceptions, and Bethany is probably thrilled at that exchange. He had 2 picks last year in this game, both of them in the red zone.
Now Bain back to pass. Instead, he looks to run. He's got room on the outside. Stiff arms one defender, scrambles forward to the 33-yard line.
I'll tell you, old Ironsides there, 220 pounds, rambled well and used a stiff arm on Kirk White, picked up a few more yards. Looks like he's been around. It's not his first rodeo running the ball.
Bain's wife, Annie, still lives in Waco, finishing up her PhD studies, and basically gave Justin his blessing to go up 10 hours north to Kansas and play another year of football. 2nd and 4 now for Bain. Hand off to Lineber. Round the outside, sheds a tackle. Scrambles forward to the 20-yard line, move the chains. First down, Bethany College.
Mo Mansoray missed the stop, had a good shot at him. Right now, Bethany's offense is clicking nicely. Lineberg gives them a nice change of pace, low center of gravity. He's had some success running up the middle to the left side. That time he cut inside right tackle. First down at the 22.
.453 left in the first quarter. Lions lead 7-0 here. Will the defense bend but not break? The red zone is right around the corner, and they are in the red zone and more. Down to 10, 5, scrambles forward and takes a defensive carrier into the end zone. Touchdown, Bethany College.
The Lions offered very little resistance on that play. The offensive line secured the line of scrimmage, and once he got outside, the Lions almost waved at him as he went by. Nice head of steam by Lineber. You can see why last year he picked up some really big yards, and he's not even starting this year for the talented freshman Jarrett Bell coming in.
Here's the replay. Lineber just barreling through. Mo on his back. Here's the extra point attempt for the Swedes. Tied this game up. And it is good. And we are tied at 7 apiece here in the first quarter. Cody Leiter punches it through for Bethany College. So 2 possessions, 2 scores, 1 for the Lions. We won't count the fumble. You had one play and a fumble. So 2 lengthy possessions, 1 for the Lions, 1 for the Swedes, and we're still stalemated at 7.
And the turnover set that up. 6 plays, 52 yards, took them 2:32 to score. And right after the Lions lost their cornerback, you would think they would go to attack that. But no, then they started running the ball and were successful at doing it. The Lions had a chance to go up 14-0. Didn't take advantage of that. The Swedes defense rose up and they cashed in the turnover. We're tied up in Midlothian.
On a hot early September day. Temperatures nearing 95 degrees at some point today. It's probably near 90 right now. Last night on this field, the Midlothian Panthers won their 2nd game of the season to go to 2-0. A big win over Keller High School.
Drove by here last night. The stadium was virtually packed.
Here's the kick. Again, short to the right. It's going to be taken by McKinley at the 9. Up to the 20, cuts forward, still on his feet. Down now to the 28-yard line. A nice, nifty return from Trevor McKinley.
Got about the last 8 yards on his own.
Here it is again, McKinley. Nice cutback move there. One leg stayed on his feet and then finally dragged down by Daniel Bly. First down, Lions.
Still good.
28-yard line.
I'm going to say still good field position. Now let's see the last play. The Lions turn it over on a fumble. And Josh Harris makes his debut at quarterback.
And he hands off. But it's a keeper. He's still got it. He may go all the way on his feet down now inside Swedes territory to the 44. Had quite a few of us fooled. There's a flag on the field. But boy, he fooled almost the entire Swede defense with a fake handoff to James Hopkins.
Looks like there's a holding. I'm guessing it is on Tyler Jenkins. Why you would hold well downfield, that's going to take a big chunk of that yards out. But Josh Harris fakes the handoff, runs out on the left end, picked up 25 yards. But the officials are still marching it back. Costly penalty. But it's
here it is again.
But it's still a first down.
Harris loose on the left. Had one man to beat. He's going to come back irregardless, but Harris showing some sign that he's got some running ability at the quarterback position.
Well, that was either Jeremy McDonald or Tyler Jenkins with the hold downfield. 2 officials spotted it.
First and 10. Hopkins sets up behind us, a fumble. Harris just dropped it. Looks like he was looking the other way as the ball was coming in, and boy, the Lions lucky to retain possession on that snap.
Was trying to get it to James Hopkins, and it looked like a little communication snafu, or he lost the handle on it in the pitch.
Like he took his eye off the ball. Irregardless, we're going to bring up 2nd and 11 for Harris from Victorville, California, Victor Valley Christian High School. He'll keep it himself with the read option. It's almost back to the line of scrimmage. Now that's the read option. What he's doing is he's reading the defensive end. When he sticks the football into the mitt of Hopkins, he holds it and reads the defensive end. If the defensive end pushes forward, he's going to keep it himself. If he stays on the outside, he's going to hand it off and let Hopkins take the ball up the middle. In that case, Harris kept it himself.
And there was something wrong in the play. Either Harris turned the wrong way, but Hopkins was running on the opposite side of where he was trying to hand off.
Now 3rd and 10. Harris back to pass, looks left, throws left, got a receiver, but throws it well out of bounds, covered well by the Swedes.
Well, that holding penalty on the big run stall that drive quickly. But the Lions early here in the first quarter have already brought in Josh Harris. Looks good running the ball.
Daniel Bly, good coverage there for the Swedes, results in a 4th down. Swedes will get the ball back with 2:39 left in the first quarter of the first game of the season. Their score tied 7-7. Nearly blocked, but ball does get away.
Kelton Evans on the return.
Swings left.
There's a block in the back.
And there's going to be a clip. It's all going to come back. And he stepped out of bounds, but it's all going to come back anyway. 2 flags way back at the 30-yard line. Whistles blowing, and you and I both saw it right here. So it kind of sprung him loose.
And he stepped out of bounds at the 40-yard line, even if there were no flags. But early in the season, special teams will struggle. It's usually one of the last areas teams really get down pat, and a real obvious push in the back, which was the key to that play developing. But a nice return.
Here it is again. There you saw the flag right there. All going to come back. But a nice nifty run from Kelton Evans.
Could have been Zach Dovenbarger with the block.
And they're going to march this ball clear back inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. So you can see it again. Right there's the push on the right side of your screen. And that's all you had to do. Get that flag tossed. There it is again on the right side. You can't push a defender from behind. Right there in the middle of your screen. Push on number 85.
The Swedes last time got the ball at midfield, scored the equalizer, and they're coming out on the field again, and they're all whites. The Lions.
Evis Lindenberg lines up. In the backfield, Bain will take it himself, and he is sacked, brought down from behind by a pair of Lions.
Kendall Evers and Kirk White, and the quarterback is still down. He landed, it looked like awkwardly on his arm. Could have been on top of the ball.
And he's not moving. And here comes a couple of trainers out to check on Justin Bain.
It looks to be that right arm, right elbow area. Replacing Shaquem Taylor so far has been Jacoby Watson. They're going to have their hands full in the secondary. The Lions may have to up the defensive pressure to keep Bain from taking advantage of a slightly thin secondary.
It's the right shoulder, it appears, with the right elbow. Either way, another quarterback is preparing to enter the game for the Swedes.
Speaking of Swedes quarterback, I'm glad that Darby House finally graduated. Man, he beat us the last 2 years. He had 2 touchdown passes last year, and he still has Swede fans talking about his career. Racked up some big numbers through the winning touchdown pass a year ago.
Here's the replay, and tackled by 2, and it looks like his right shoulder just compressed. When you've got a couple 300-pound fellas on your back and you hit the ground with your right shoulder, there's going to be some damage there.
Kirk White was the one who came in to polish him off, and that seems to be it. Now, Bain has had a career where he's had a few injuries. He seems to be favoring that right side, and I'm sure after the trainers look at him, we'll get word whether or not he's going to come back. Wouldn't be surprised to see him press through.
It's going to be Bo Savage now into the game for Bethany College. He's a freshman, 190 pounds, 6'2" quarterback. Will work from the shotgun on 2nd and 14. Bo Savage sets a man in motion. Handoff, tripped up for a loss for the Lions. That's number 42.
Jeremiah Mott broke through unassisted tackle before the play even had a chance to develop. SAGU comes through.
Jarrett Bell rung up for a loss on that play. Nice play. Here it is again. Mott gets right through and brings Bell right to the ground. Great play by the Lions defense. Brings up 3rd down and 18. Now trips left. Single receiver right. Bo Savage from the shotgun. Looks right. Throws. Pass complete near the 20-yard line. Well short of the first down to bring up 4th down. And out comes the punting unit for Bethany College.
Kyle Flood, number 32, was on the coverage. Gave but didn't break. He's out of Grand Prairie, one of the local schools. There's a replay of the receiver making the catch, but he was about 6-7 yards short. Brett Chrome comes in to do the punting.
Back at the 30 is Trevor McKinley. Another short punt to the right. This one also, was that caught by the same fan on one bounce?
You know what? I don't think it was the guy from Maybank, but I think, you know what? That could have been. Could have been.
They'll look to mark the ball around the 31-yard line is where it actually went out of bounds.
I doubt if it's the wind. We're expected to get mild winds out of the south-southeast at about 6-8 miles an hour. And you can see the flags on the end zones, or I can. They're not even moving. So the Lions have got great field position. Last time they did that, they turned it over. Here we are at the 31. Golson is back in.
Yeah, he's going to send 3 receivers to the right. He's going to, there's that read option again. He does hand off to Troy Griffin and snuffed out pretty quickly by Bethany College.
I would say he misread, as soon as he got the ball, he was brought down by a host of defenders.
There's another play tipped, nearly picked off. Brings up a quick 3rd down, just like that, 3rd and 12.
And we're almost at the end of the first quarter. We haven't gotten the ball into the hands of Jeremy McDonald yet. They tried there, but it sailed wide to the left. Caught 40 passes last year as a sophomore. He's the one that secondaries fear. When they went down and scrimmaged Trinity in San Antonio a week ago, he got the only score of the scrimmage on a pass from Josh Harris.
Bethany's just 3 down linemen, nearly went off sides. And now here's a flag, and looks like this may be going against the Lions. The Swedes drew them off sides. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty. Bring up 3rd down and 17 now from the 38-yard line.
What it looked like was offensive lineman for the Lions. I think it was Mark Hudson. When he saw the defender move, and he rose up and pointed at him, and then they whistled him for moving. But the Swedes jumped back onside before the ball was snapped.
I look for Jeremy McDonald here to make a play. Golson has got to get nearly 20 yards for a first down. McDonald has the speed, looks right, now throws up the middle. Bobbled, dropped, pass intended for Vanique Benton. And that brings up a 4th down for Southwestern.
Nick Junker, who was one of their top tacklers, might have got a hand on the ball. That's 2 straight possessions in the Swedes into the field, and the Lions did not come through.
Here to like us on Facebook, SAGU Sports Network. Also check out our Twitter feed and Instagram, SAGU Sports Network. For all the latest information, photos, all the things you need to hear about what's happening here in the SAGU Sports Network. You see 4 ways to contact us, also via YouTube. Also, be on lookout for The War Room, a brand new show brought to you by SAGU Sports Network, where we sit down one-on-one with a coach of the week and talk about analysis of the previous week's highlights, look ahead to future games. It's a great program we're offering our viewers called The War Room. Look for it at SAGU Sports Network. .37 seconds left in the first quarter, 7-7.
Little breeze is coming in on the south end of the field. So if they were to have James Gish go for a field goal, it would be about 55-yard kick into a mild wind. I have a feeling that the Lions might go for it.
I don't think they will, based on what I saw before the game. He was not able to even really get close to a 52-yarder today. Maybe his legs limbered now, but that was with the wind. That was 52 yards being short with the wind. 47 he cleared easily. Probably would have hit it from that distance, but this will be interesting.
Well, they brought in the freshman Chad Deeren from Garland and Texas A&M Commerce to punt instead of Steven Stewart.
It'll be a short kick. If you can put it in the corner, left corner. Ooh, and it hits at the 8-yard line. Not a bad punt. 7-yard line, 7-8-yard line from Chad Deeren, who's a freshman from, is that Garland, Texas. So, pinned back deep are the Swedes with less than 30 seconds to play in the first quarter. You know, the score is pretty indicative of the play so far, Mark. Not one team has really taken charge and just you know, exerted themselves.
First game jitters, a little rustiness, a couple of costly penalties against both teams. But each squad has been able to put together one very impressive drive.
And Bo Savage will remain in the game, so Bain remains on the sidelines, and Bo Savage will come up under center deep in their own territory. Big hit, but the ball is handed off, and now a fumble. Ball handed off to Tevis Lineber, but a big hit on another running back who was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that was Deontay Morrison. They called him Bones for a reason. He's a tall, lanky kid. Take a look at this hit. Wow. Another hit put on Lineber as he was tackled. Lions aggressive on defense. Got to love that aggressive play. As the horn sounds, we've reached the end of the first quarter here at Midlothian Stadium. 7-7 your score. New helmets, new season, new anticipation. The Lions looking good overall. You have to say that the Lions are holding their own against this team, like we talked about, has the number 8 all-time win count in the entire NAIA.
From the Kansas Collegiate Athletic Conference, they have been steady winners in the Midwest. They've got a new coach in. Optimism is high for the Swede fans. I like the color of their uniforms. And the Lions have gone from the gold helmet to the flat purple and have gotten rid of the purple pants and gone white.
And be sure to check us out next Saturday, 6 p.m. Central Time, right here on SAGU.TV, when the Howard Payne Yellow Jackets come flying into Lumpkin Stadium to take on the Lions. We'll have all the action for you here on the SAGU Sports Network, the leader in NAIA high-definition sports broadcasting.
Looks like on the sideline, Justin Bain is taking his shoulder pads off very carefully. He's being assisted by 2 players on the sideline. That could be it for him. Depends on how bad that shoulder injury was, but that's not the sign you want. If you're a Swedes fan, you'd rather see him warming up. Now one of the trainers comes over.
And here we go now. We're back to live action here. 2nd down and 1. And a fumble on the play, and the Lions are saying they've got it. We'll see if the referees agree. And they do. The Lions come up with the ball, and that is Jeremiah Mott.
I saw Michael Umfenauer in there. That ball looked like it was lost early in the play on one of those misdirection handoffs. Great opportunity. The Lions on the 17-yard line. 3rd time to get the ball in that end. Let's see us cash in this time.
I think we've got to look for McDonald at some point. He's going to get some balls thrown his way. He sets up all by himself on the left. Trips right. Golson in the shotgun.
Carver Colton is now in the backfield. He gets the handoff.
Gets the assignment. He's dragged down for a loss back to the 20-yard line. Colton, a freshman from Dallas, Texas, Molina High School.
Right over there, right on the edge by Mountain Creek Lake. The tackle by Stephen Williams. They are jumping all over the running plays. Something about their ability to make a read on that. We're not surprising anybody after having some early success.
Brings up 2nd and 11. Here we are. The Lions are inside the red zone. Essentially began the drive inside the red zone. Let's see if they can put some points on the board. Golson rolls right. He's got a man underneath. Now looks deep in the end zone. He'll keep it himself, though. Down to the 15, down to the 12. Read through his read progressions. The man running with him was covered. Looked downfield. He was covered. Kept it himself. Golson can do that. He's got quick feet, Mark.
Cuts outside. I almost expected to see him lower his head and try to pick up another 5 yards, but he did the safe play, ran out of bounds, picked up good yards.
Here it is again. Underneath, not open. Now looks downfield, decides to keep it himself. All things considered, a pretty smart play from the senior, Reed Golson.
Looked like he was looking for Dylan Moore.
Now he looks for Trevor McKinley, and
he
got
comes up with the grab, touchdown!
How about that? Trevor McKinley. Great timing pass from Golson to number 7. And the Lions retake the lead. What a pass from Golson, timed perfectly. Only McKinley could catch it. Here it is again. McKinley comes down with it. Clearly beats his defender.
McKinley looked like he was going to, he expected the ball over one shoulder, and he had to spin around, pirouette, makes the grab on the opposite outside shoulder. Touchdown, Lions.
Gish puts it through to give the Lions a 14-7 lead. We talk about red zone opportunities, Mark, and there it is. The Lions were given an opportunity basically to give the ball to begin inside the red zone, and they convert. Here it is again. Look at this pattern. McKinley has him beat by 2-3 steps, goes to the back to his right shoulder and comes down with the ball. Great ball control, never lost possession. Referee right there to make the right call. Touchdown, Southwestern.
They punched it in 3 plays, 17 yards, 1 minute and 12 seconds.
Took advantage of that turnover, Mark.
I know those figures because J.W. Tabor gave them to.
J.W. is the man, providing all of our stats and key information for you today on the SAGU Sports Network. Glad to have him on board again this season. Lions fans happy with the results so far. And head coach Jesse Godding and offensive coordinator Frank Tristan getting the job done for the Lions faithful. And now Chad Deeren will actually be assigned the kickoff duties. Gish will not kick this ball off, giving Deeren some valuable game time experience as a freshman.
The heir apparent for the place kicking job and potentially the punting job as well.
Good deep kick, ball caught 3 yards in the end zone, but he'll be taken out. Now to the 10, up to the 15, cuts right, down to the 23. And wrapped up at the 24-yard line. Good, solid, deep kick from Deeren.
Let me see who made that tackle. 89 was in on the stop. I think that was Ryan Reese. He looked like a guy I saw at the Mesquite Rodeo. He had him hog-tied and wasn't letting go. Rode him and took him down. Didn't even use a rope on that tackle.
Savage sets up in the shotgun. 3 receivers set left. Down by 7. And in trouble. He just has to get rid of it. Savage attacked by the Lions defense, and leading the charge is number 50 for the Lions.
Ethan Eastwood. I think that's Clint's brother. And now there's a flag at the end of the play. Well, the quarterback was being hit at the time he went to pass. I'm not sure why they would call it intentional grounding if he was in the process. But then again, if he's trying to avoid lost yards, well, the official picked up the flag.
We're going to pick it up and wave it off.
Our spotter says he threw it at the feet of a running back. I think that was a good call by the official. But great pressure nonetheless by Eastwood.
2nd and 10 from the 19-yard line. 4 receivers set. Savage back to pass, but hands off to the running back, Leneber, and he is going nowhere. This Lions defensive line looking good early on, Mark.
And Eastwood was in there again. You can see that John Allen is rotating in some of the guys in that front 7 to keep them fresh.
That was Horace Williams also in on the tackle.
Horace Williams playing that nose guard position. That's about 340 pounds of you don't want to run there.
4 receivers set, 2 on top, 2 on bottom for Savage. Throws right downfield, caught, 26-yard line. Jafar Thomas, tackle on the play by number 32, Kyle Flood, the freshman, starting for another player.
Frank Age-Maple. Flood did really well. He forced him towards the sideline, kept the gain to short yards, but it was enough to move the chains. First down, Swedes. I don't think coming into this game they had any intention of having a backup quarterback playing before the first quarter's over.
That's where the Swedes have put themselves, with Bo Savage now at the helm. Pass inside, picked off, interception.
Eastwood
still on his feet. It's Eastwood. He could go, and he does go. Touchdown, Lions!
There's a flag at the end of the play, I think, because a couple of Lion guys were celebrating on the field. Mitchell Grimes was some kind of excited. I'm hoping that flag was.
Here it is again, folks. Eastwood just picks it right off of the passing lane, bowls over the one defender, and he rambles into the end zone, and he is fired up. Wow, what a play by the defense of the Lions. He just ran over one of the Bethany College players, number 19. Here it is again. Just put him. Touchdown is good. An unsportsmanlike conduct penalty is called.
It was a Lion player running on the field, but it was momentarily after the touchdown, so the score counts.
It was Bo Savage he ran over. Touchdown is good.
It's like 3 straight plays that Eastwood was in. John Allen punching the right numbers, keeping the defense fresh, and the freshman, wow, delivered a big hit.
This defensive line is looking really, really good. I was talking to Coach Allen this week, and we talked about that defensive line. He thinks that is the key. We both agree. That is the key to this whole season. 30 yards, interception from Eastwood. Took about 6 or 7 seconds. Took a few players with him on the way, and just like that, the Lions are about to be up 21-0 pending this PAT.
Gish is out on the field.
And that penalty will be deferred to the kickoff. 15 yards will be assessed when Dearden kicks off. And block, and it's a live ball. It's loose. So take the PAT off the board, and it's going to remain 27. You can't pin those PATs.
Well, Gish missed one last year, and the Bethany spirit just seemed to say, we're not liking this, and take that. We'll get a measure of
Here it is
revenge.
again. Look at this touchdown, pick 6, right in the passing lane, waiting, just watching the quarterback's eyes, and then punishes the quarterback, stays on his feet, gets back upright, and Eastwood putting the Lions up by 13 with 11:57 left in the first half. Don Allen's defense has got to be fired up after that play.
That was the second unit that came through there, and as you watch that replay, you could see Eastwood was just watching the quarterback, read that little pass, which was set up nicely, but somebody forgot to block Eastwood.
So Mark, what do you do if you're Coach Manny Matsakis and you've lost your starting quarterback to an injury and your backup, Bo, is obviously rattled, making some poor decisions? You thought you'd come in here and handle the Lions, and you find yourself down by 2 touchdowns with plenty of time left in the first half. What do you say to your troops at this point?
You know what? I think a veteran coach like him is going to circle the wagons, and one of the good things is for his attack is it's based on the passing game. He has some speed burners, and if anybody can come back, they can do that. Though so far in the first half, they've had, I think, more success running the ball, but he does have some speed, and they can cut a deficit quickly. I don't think he's that uptight at the moment. He's been around before. He's got a towel draped around his shoulder. He looks like he's ready to go to work.
Look at this kick. Kickoff from the 20 didn't matter. Didn't matter one bit. Kickoff from the 20. The ball landed around the 1-yard line, sails into the end zone, and touchback will be the call here, as the Lions will now set up defense at the 20-yard line.
He kicked that from the 20 all the way through. If you're a fan of the Canadian Football League, that would have been a single, because he kicked it all the way through the end zone.
It's an 80-yard boot in the air. Here it is again. The ball lands right around the 2-yard line, so we'll call it a 78-yard kickoff in the air, and there's no way number 23 is going to get that to live action. We'll set up at the 20-yard line with the Swedes now not treading water, but perhaps a little nervous. Down 13 against a Lions squad that I don't think they saw this coming. I read some of the press clippings from the Swedes website and whatnot, and they really anticipated they would get the win here. And they still might, but boy, the Lions are putting it to them early on. Now here's Savage, a screen play, and the Lions right there, really a nose for the ball so far. I mean, just by every short pass, Mark.
There's Dalton Snyder, who hung on, stretched that jersey enough to where it looked like Superman's cape. He was griping at the end of the play before DJ Johnson polished him off. And I think that's a good move on the Swedes' part, is to get the quarterback settled by going to some short passes, developing a little bit of confidence, and then going from there.
Savage now 2nd and 5, looks to throw. Rush gets the ball away, overthrows his intended receiver. That was number 80, Rodney Mollett from Maynard, Texas. It brings up a 3rd down and 5.
Mollett was open. The quarterback, though, was being pressured, and he threw it behind the receiver. Fortunately for him, the ball wasn't tipped up in the air or picked off by the Purple People Eaters.
I've not seen that too high defense yet, where you have 9 men in the box. You'll probably see that on a running play. Here's a replay. As you see, he rolls left. Receiver not open. Now looks underneath and just overthrows his man.
3rd down and a long 5.
Lions want the ball back. Handoff up ahead, and there's DJ Johnson once again waiting just a pounce on, I believe that was Kelton Evans.
And welcome back to SAGU football, number 91, Ike Cast Iron Caston stepped in back there, held the running back up until Johnson could come over and put him away. Caston's been out of football the last 2 years. He's back in the fold and has won a starting spot at defensive end.
A senior, a 6'3", 230-pound senior, or 6'1", 230 from Dallas. And the punt away, a low end over end, and stops on the dime and snatched up at the 40-yard line by the Swedes. Stephen Williams will give the Lions the ball back in pretty good field position here with 10:25 left in the first half, Mark.
And for Bethany, they had to feel good. They got a good punt, that one, about 35 yards into the wind.
The punt landed in the field, so that's
right. After the first couple, you know, if they can hold on and don't panic, they've got plenty of time to come back.
You mentioned Coach Matsakis, plenty of experience at the pro and collegiate level, D1. He'll have his troops ready for some play in the second half, that's for sure. And here's a handoff right now. I believe that's Griffin Griffin with the carry. Gets a couple.
After the last few runs, just getting back to the line of scrimmage is pretty good. 47 makes the stop for the Swedes. For Lion fans, the two backs, James Hopkins and Troy Griffin, if you change their numbers, they run very similar. A lot of things alike, similar size, power backs with a little bit of speed.
Now here's some flags. Now both sides pointing at each other, each thinking the other was drawn off sides, and we'll wait to see for the call. It's going to be against the Purple Pride. The Lions jumped, cost them 5 yards. New personnel in for the Lions offense now. The 5-yard penalty. We want to welcome all of our viewers watching from or near Lindsborg, Kansas. We're glad you're watching us on the SAGU Sports Network. As your Bethany College Swedes are facing Southwestern Day here in Midlothian, Texas.
Midlothian on the southwest edge of Dallas.
Now here's Golson. Pass batted down by number 14, Oscar Segura, pursued quickly on that dangerous play. However, had that ball been completed, it probably would have gone for 6. I didn't see many folks in the vicinity had that pass been.
Segura jumped the route. It was intended for Dylan Moore. Moore is like a wide receiver with a tight end's mentality. He's still out there. Lions haven't got him nor McDonald a reception yet.
Golson now in trouble, throws it underneath, incomplete. But the play is still going on, so we're going to run it out. And who has the ball but Troy Griffin? He's going to go into the end zone, and we'll see if it holds up. He assumed it was a live ball. It looked to me like it was an incomplete pass, but perhaps...
I'm not sure the ball actually
I may
hit
have
the
missed
ground.
something. Maybe it didn't. We'll have to take a look at that again. Wow. If so, that's an improbable touchdown from the freshman. A heads-up play from Troy Griffin. Hey, they teach in practice, do not stop running until you hear a whistle, and that is exactly what Troy Griffin did.
But 6 points are not up on the scoreboard.
And it is an incomplete pass. We thought it was, but he fooled a lot of folks for a minute. He just kept running and didn't hear a whistle, and the Swedes said, well, I guess we'll try to tackle you. Couldn't. Gave us all a scare. A good scare.
Oh, exactly. And that was two passes in a row that the Swedes pressured, got a hand on, and it's leading to a 4th down play. And Steven Stewart, the incumbent starting punter, is back on the field. He's number 27.
Kelton Evans set back to receive for Bethany College. And now a timeout has been called on the field with 9:05 left here in the first half as the Lions kick off the 2013 campaign.
Hey, one of the guys who is invaluable on a day like this is the head athletic trainer. The Lions said goodbye after 9 super years from the veteran Jeroy Carpenter, and now Stuart Dunn and his troops are in charge, keeping these guys hydrated. You see him running around the sideline, and hopefully he will not have a very busy day. The guys work hard in the month of August in heat conditioning to stay hydrated well.
Several hundred fans in the stands here at Midlothian High School today.
Expected high, at least according to the Weather Channel this morning, was up a few degrees from yesterday's projection, but it was supposed to be 100 degrees by about 4 o'clock this afternoon. So it's got to be over 95 by now.
Let's kick off at 7 a.m. next week, right? That's going to happen.
I like that.
Wow.
Well,
right
you might have to start without me.
Kelton Evans set back to receive again. We'll try it again. Here's the kick from Stewart. A good end-over-end kick. Sends Kelton way back to the 18-yard line. He does field it and takes up field right side 30. Now 35 has an open seam. Past midfield, 40. 35 still on his feet. He could go all the way. One man to beat. And he does beat him, and touchdown. Kelton Evans pulls the Swedes back to within a touchdown. Great heads-up vision from Kelton Evans as he quickly puts points back in the board for Bethany College.
That was a classic case of out-kicking your coverage. He kicked it so long, didn't get it up high enough. The returner, Evans, was able to get a big head of steam, shot up the right sideline. Stewart didn't have a chance on making that tackle. 82-yard punt return, and the Swedes are right back in the game.
We've not talked about special teams at all yet, but that's the first. If there's a chink in the armor at this game, there it is. Look at the coverage. Kelton Evans saw daylight right there. He had 4 or 5 blockers, and right there, he's gone. He knew he had all kinds of daylight, had one man to beat. There's the block. Number 15 will come into play. Almost had a chance to tackle him, did not get there. And now the extra point after is good, and we are now at a 20-14 game, and that missed extra point, you know, just kind of put that on pause there. Let's hope that doesn't come back into play. The lead now is just 6, should be 7.
Kelton Evans has breathed hope into that Swedes attack with a great return, and I don't think anyone came within 5 yards of putting a mitt on him.
Well, ever since the very first possession of the game, the Swedes have done basically, to be honest, nothing of significance until that, you know, that play, which special teams can totally change the dynamic of any ball club. We know that from watching football for years. It happens. It's happening right here, right now at Midlothian Stadium, as the Swedes are now just 1 touchdown behind from tying, maybe even taking the lead in this ball game.
And it then illustrates a couple of those missed opportunities the Lions had earlier in the game. They could have been 3 touchdowns ahead at this time. But Bethany is hanging around. The Lions, if they can continue to sustain the energy they've had so far, have got to like their chances, scoring 20 points already in the first half.
Jeremy McDonald and Trevor McKinley. Familiar faces set back to receive. McKinley right, number 7. McDonald, number 1, has been quiet in this game so far. May get some action here if the ball squirts his way. And here's the kickoff, and it's an onside kick, and it didn't go 10 yards, and it's going to be Lions ball because the defender, the offensive player, did touch it around the 8-yard line. It looks like, from what I could tell. We'll take a look at it again, but it looks like that's going to be Lions ball. Here it is again.
There's also a flag on the play right when it started, and they're going to have to re-kick it.
Offsides, the kicking team will re-kick it again. And I grant you one thing, they'll be looking out for the onside kick at this point, which probably won't happen. But here it was, 35-yard line. If it gets to the 45, you know what? It would have been good. Had the offsides not been called, it would have been Swedes ball. So thankfully, the Lions escape that really savvy play. You know, Coach Manny, talk about him adjusting. That's a gutsy call right there. So here we go again now from the 30-yard line. This one will likely sail long and deep.
And Sakis was just trying to take advantage of the momentum.
Sure.
Good move, just lacked execution.
And it's going to be McKinley, the up man at the 15-yard line. Can he do what Kelton did a moment ago and take one back deep? He does get back to about the 43-yard line. A nice return from Trevor McKinley. Number 43 in the stop, that's Saul Aguirre.
Here come the Lions. Several of their playmakers out here on first down. Jeremy McDonald's been quiet so far. Benique Benton is out on the field. McKinley is back on the field. So is that offensive line.
Dylan Moore on the field as well. Sets up far right. Vinton in the slot. Man in motion, McKinley. He gets the ball. Cuts back left up the middle beyond midfield. A gain of 6.
Great counter play. And McKinley looked like he was going to take it wide, then cut inside. Gained about 6 yards.
Tevis's brother, Cody Lindenberg, a senior, in on the tackle. Brings up about a 2nd and 4. Call it 5. Golson sends out McKinley, or check that, McDonald wide left, Moore wide right. 3 running backs, and he's going to hand it off, and it's going to go nowhere. Dragged down for a loss. I think that's McKinley again. It is McKinley.
I don't know if you can penalize a team for eavesdropping, but I think the Swedes are listening in on the huddle because they know when we're running the ball. They're making some good calls by their D coordinator, and
Swedes in a 4, it's like a 4-2 defense. 4 down linemen.
There's a big play, 3rd down and 7 yards to go.
Look for McDonald. Been quiet so far. Here's a pass to McDonald. He's got his man beat. One-handed catch attempt. And a little extracurricular activity between those two, but how about the athleticism from McDonald making that one-handed catch attempt, where he did sail out of bounds.
And Jafar Thomas turned to the SAGU bench before he got off the field. And
look at this catch,
Johnny Manziel.
Look at this attempt, one hand. He tried to haul it in, boy. Attempting his Chris Carter imitation, with the purple, the Vikings, you mentioned that, but unable to bring it in.
Good.
Brings up 3rd and
I was just adding
fourth
that
down.
Jafar Thomas turned to the Lions bench and did the money sign.
Okay.
Freshman, you have to like his confidence.
Quick kick there, almost blocked. Short, lands at the 21-yard line, and it's going to be
down by Mo Mansoray.
Mo's been quiet so far. We'd like to see more of his name called on the defensive side of things as we progress through.
Well, the Lions had great field position there again. That's 3 times we've done that, and haven't cashed in one of those except for the later turnover. And now Bethany with a chance to take the lead with 6:56 left in the first half. Down 20-14. The Lions have got to rise up and reestablish their command.
Let's see if Coach Allen tries any different schemes to keep the Swedes honest.
Savage is still out there at quarterback.
They're setting up in now there's a 4-3 defense from the Lions. Handoff up the middle. Little daylight. That's Tevis Lineber again on the carry. He scrambles forward for a 3-yard gain. The tackle is Bones Deontay Morrison.
He upended Lineber on that play. Bearing the same number that Brad Heathcock has done so well in the secondary the last several years.
Now Savage under center. Sends a man in motion. Handoff up the middle and snuffed out from the defensive end, who just was waiting for the handoff so he could just deliver the quick tackle. I believe that was number 91 for the Lions.
That would be Ike Caston. Clock is still running. It's going to bring up 3rd down. Here's the big play.
Can the Lions get the ball back with a few minutes left to maybe march down the field and get those 7 points back, or will the Swedes continue their march towards essentially tying this ball game? Passing play. Savage looks left, batted down. And is that DJ Johnson?
It was DJ Johnson.
And he wanted the pick. Look at him. He is not happy. He wanted more than the block. He wanted the pick.
He had his arm up in the air like the Statue of Liberty, and he's probably feeling like it got torched with that deflected pass.
He gets a hand as he comes off the field, brings up 4th down. And here's McDonald. He's the only man back, so he will get his hands on the ball eventually if it's a decent kick. There's the replay. Now here's the punt. A decent punt from the Swedes kicker. And looks like the Swedes are going to cover this one up at the 27-yard line. So McDonald still hasn't touched the ball yet in live action, which I'm shocked with 5:45 left in the second half, in the second quarter. If you'd have told me that McDonald has yet to even touch the ball, I would be extremely surprised and probably not convinced we'd be up by 6 by now.
And really, they haven't even looked his way much. I mean, they had one early that was wiped out by the holding penalty, and they've only thrown his way a couple of times.
Vinton sets up wide right, McDonald left. Griffin behind Golson in the shotgun. And there's the read option. He's going to keep it himself. On his feet, out to the 33-yard line, and now Frank Tristan telling McDonald to just walk away. Don't enter into a scuffle with any kind of Swede players and get yourself disciplined by the referees. They're running a really tight game so far.
You know, last year the Swedes defended Golson very well. I think he ran 16 times for 10 yards. And that's only the second time he ran today. Both of them about a 5-yard gain. Took the safe yards, not going to push his luck.
Golson up the middle, pass complete. Out to the 44-yard line. That's the tight end,
Caleb Shelley. He's brought down by Nick Junker, the linebacker.
And move the chains. First down, Lions. Now, Mark, you got about 5 minutes left. Plenty of time to take your time if you're the Lions to march down the field another 45 yards. Try to punch this lead back up to 13. And Golson trying to pull people off sides, and in so doing, it may have been the Lions who moved. We'll have to wait and see.
Looked like it was number 12, Troy Griffin. This is his first time in the attack. Looked like he moved too soon. Got to chalk that one up to being new in the attack. But he is a junior out of Houston and Texas A&M Commerce. He hadn't had a great day so far. They've been on to his runs.
Here's the keeper, Golson, all kinds of daylight. Great upfield block from Jeremy McDonald. Pushed the Lions into Swedes territory.
Jafar Thomas makes the tackle. If McDonald could have held that block a little longer, Reed could have had clear sailing up the left flank.
Clock continues to run, now under 4.5 minutes left in the first half. There's McDonald and Vinton wide right. Golson has got Griffin behind him. Looks to pass, short pass up the middle, looking again for his tight end. Pass incomplete.
He threw that one well behind him, and he wasn't even pressured. You wonder if Shelley was supposed to cross over and stop, or if Golson just mistimed it. But we're at third down again. Last year, this was the fly in the ointment from some scoring drives. The Lions short-circuited on third downs. And he didn't like what he saw there. And they've called a timeout.
One timeout left for the Lions with 4:14 left. And the Swedes just hanging around. Manny has them scraping, clawing, fighting. We've had a couple of ejections on either side. We've got some injuries, and this game is far from over, far to be decided. But you see that game on Thursday night, a team like the Broncos can just explode at any point, so you never know when any football team can just take over a second half. So we've got a competitive game here developing here at Midlothian Stadium as the Swedes look to begin their season as well. It's their season opener for their 2013 campaign, and now it brings up third down and 4. You pass or run on this play. Midfield.
Well, the run hasn't been effective of late, so I think you've got to be looking to pass. I think Benton may be the guy.
Golson's going to keep it. Spins back left. Got the first down and more. Takes upfield block from McDonald. Stiff armed the player along the way.
Golson was liking that when he looked to run to his right, stopped like a whirling dervish, spun the opposite way. Doesn't look like a guy who's banged up to me. Golson gets up, springs out off the ground, gets the big first down. Here comes a replay, I think, on this big third down conversion by the Lions.
Look at that stiff arm, and then looks upfield. McDonald takes his block. Easy first down. Golson fired up.
He jumps up and is punching at the air.
Quick pass now. McKinley, that may be a live ball.
Don't think so. Golson needed to throw it in front of him. Benton had to wait.
Yeah, that was McKinley. Had to wait on that one, and thankfully, incomplete pass. Does stop the clock with 3:26 left. You see Lagish is on the sidelines preparing for a potential long field goal attempt if the Lions can if they fail to convert a first down here. Now, look who's running wide right. Number 87 for the Lions sets up far wide. That is going to be Josh Goodwin.
6'3" receiver.
Short pass to McKinley. Pass complete. Inside the 35, down to the 34-yard line.
He set it behind Dylan Moore. Josh Goodwin is one of the recruits that they feel strongly about. Has good size, good hands, good route runner. Josh Goodwin. Mark his name in your program.
Okay.
You'll probably see him develop as the year goes on. He's still out there.
He sets up there again. A big husky wide receiver all alone on the island on the right side. And now screenplay pass complete and tripped up behind the line of scrimmage or near the line of scrimmage.
Number 14 makes the stop.
That was Carvin Colton.
Unfortunately, the wide receiver we were just singing his praises, Goodwin, did not get a good block at all, and him missing the block allowed that play to be blown up. If he had have gotten just a seal block, he could still be running. But it's fourth down, and what was promising is now over, and the Lions at the 37 are going to punt. Clock is rolling, approaching the 2-minute mark.
Kick towards the right corner. Does line out of bounds around the 13. We'll call it they're going to mark it around the 16. It's at that 11-yard line. 11-yard line. So pinned fairly deep are the Swedes with under 2 minutes left in the first half. They find themselves down by 6 still in this game, but overall the Lions really showing their strength and leading in a lot of statistical categories, excuse me. And the momentum still, you have to look, all things considered, the momentum still is with the Lions at this point.
Game eerily similar to last year's game where the Lions weren't able to deliver the knockout punch. The Swedes stayed in the game long enough.
Hung around.
And then Darby House, who's a household name in Waxahachie, brought his team back for a narrow 13-12 win. They're 4-0 against the Lions in history.
Those first 2 wins came back in 1998 and 99 when the football team was essentially a club sport, but they do count as wins. But the most recent wins came in 2011 and 12. I think it was 29-21, and then that tough loss last year, 13-12.
Dylan Snyder with the tackle on the last play. What a hit earlier in the game, Snyder.
Hit of the game so far.
That was his welcome to Texas for the Swedes.
We set a man in motion. Ball carrier is inside.
He got the first down. That's Jarrett Bell.
Chris Polk, not called his name yet.
He's a backup linebacker.
Duncanville, Texas.
Played at Christway Academy. He comes in with the second and third unit, but the Lions are continuing to shuffle guys in and out. Horace Williams is now in there at defensive tackle, and DJ Johnson and Ike Caston. That's a pretty powerful front three.
Man in motion. And is that a direct snap?
No, I don't think so.
Quick handoff to look like a fullback.
And Polk is in on the tackle again, and the Swedes are content to run the ball and get this clock out, or run the clock down.
Helmet popped loose there during the play.
Wasn't a first down. They started to move the chains. They're at the 35.
Second and 2.
Maybe the last play of the first half.
Yeah, 15 seconds left. You need to get down the field in a hurry and stop the clock, and that's what they'll attempt to do. That's an interesting reception. Ball out of the hands of one player, caught by another player behind him. Lundarius Thomas missed the ball, but then it was caught by another receiver for a 2 or 3 yard gain.
35, and Chris Polk again on the tackle. The tackle was made so promptly that it gives him another chance. 7 seconds left. I bet you're going to see them air it out.
Well, sure. With
Lions are dropping Snyder and Mansoray back.
You could maybe do a hard out and get 10 yards with maybe 1 second left, but look for this ball to go long and deep. It is a short pass, and wrapped up and tackled at the 45-yard line.
Kyle Flood with the tackle over there, going low, and that brings an end to the first half. I'll take the 6-point lead.
Absolutely. Southwestern Assemblies of God University Lions jumping out on top of the Swedes as they're the tackle by number 35 ends the first half of play. Your score at halftime, 20-14. We'll be right back with halftime highlights, statistics, and analysis of the first half of play. You're watching SAGU Sports Live here on the SAGU Sports Network. Stay tuned. We are at halftime here at Midlothian Stadium. The Lions up 20-14. Some great defense, some offensive moving quickly, and one of those stars right now is Trevor McKinley, and he's standing by with our very own Tyler Evans.
Thanks, guys. Now here I am with the wide receiver for the SAGU Lions, Trevor McKinley. Now, Trevor, congratulations. You just made a touchdown catch in this first half. What was going through your mind as you made that play?
The first thing that was going through my mind was catch the ball, but I want to give all thanks to God, because without him, this wouldn't be possible. But the quarterback made a good throw. I just had to bring it home.
Great job. Now, the SAGU Lions are heading the scoreboard with 20 points. What do you think we need to do to keep the success high and the momentum alive?
We need to cut out the penalties, make smarter decisions, and we should come out with the W.
Thank you so much, Trevor, and good luck in the rest of the game. Back to you, Tim.
Thanks, Tyler. And the stats on Trevor, pretty impressive.
4 catches, 25 yards, and a great reception in the end zone corner.
Great job from Reed Golson, the whole Lions offensive and defense as well. How about the touchdown from Eastwood? Pick 6.
Oh, that's the game leading points right now.
Right back with more halftime analysis and highlights. You're watching SAGU Sports Live on the SAGU Sports Network. Stay with us. We'll be right back.